Thank you so much for being here, everybody. My name is Stephen Lucier, and I work on the core team that's building the Saga phone at Solana Mobile. I work on JavaScript infrastructure projects there, so that's things like wallet adapter and the wallet adapter specification for JS and for React Native. And also at Solana Labs on JavaScript infrastructure project like Web3.js and wallet adapter. And this talk today is called JavaScript, the gateway drug to mobile. It's a story about how you maybe did 1 or 2 lines of JavaScript, maybe in college when you were experimenting. And one thing led to another, and pretty soon you woke up like this incredible mobile developer. Because right now, what's the situation, right? Nearly every website on Solana right now, nearly every application is a website. And it's a website written in JavaScript. And there's a good reason for this. The reason is sort of threefold. It plays into the strengths of the web. One of the first strengths of the web is that it's a great rapid prototyping environment. You can set something up really fast. You can go from idea to implementation in just a few hours, throw something on your local host, or publish it to Vercel and send someone a URL for feedback. And speaking of feedback, the web is amazing at shortening iteration cycles. You can invest in the stuff that you see working, double down on that stuff, and you can just abandon all the features that aren't. And it's also the ultimate zero install distribution platform. You can just send someone a URL. And users always get the latest version of your application with all of the latest features. So I think that the hypergrowth cycle of apps that Solana has enjoyed for the last little bit has been in large part due to the strengths of the web. But I have got to believe that the next hypergrowth cycle is going to owe itself to the shift to mobile. And it's going to owe itself to a shift to mobile not for the same reasons as the web, but for rather different reasons. First reason out of 3 I want to present to you is that people have got these things. They have phones, and they've got a lot of them. Let's do some statistics. This is focused on the United States, a place called the Pew Research Center. The percent of US adults who say that they own a cell phone is all the way up to the wall at 97%, as compared to folks who report owning a desktop or a laptop computer, which is only at 77%. And if we get a little bit more nuanced about that and take another slice and say, OK, well, how many own just smartphones, it still exceeds desktop ownership. Now, you're looking at this, and you're like, I'm not convinced. That's only 8 percentage points away of the market. It's not enough of a market for me to build a mobile app. I'm going to keep focusing on desktop. I'm going to keep shipping apps on desktop web. Well, access to the devices is not the only thing. The second thing is that people who have phones use them, and they use them a lot. In terms of attention, the percent of smartphone folks who say that they go online mostly using their phone. This is people who say when they're on the internet, they are mostly accessing the internet through their phone. 46% of folks across the United States. And another 23% say, I go on the internet on my desktop and my phone roughly equally. So you add those 2 numbers up, that's about 70% of people who say that at least half of their time spent on the internet is on their phone. And if you take a different slice of this and you look at just, say, 18 to 29-year-olds, those numbers go way out of whack. 60% of folks say, when I'm on the internet, it's probably on my phone. That is a massive market of attention. If you're not shipping a mobile app that looks beautiful, works well, delivers value to people on their phones wherever they are, you're missing out on a huge part of their daily attention. And that's a market that I think you want to capture. Now, the third reason is that not everyone has a desktop computer. If you take a look at the number of US adults who say, I have a phone, but I do not have internet connection at home, that's 15% of US adults. At current numbers, like what is that, like 45 million people? And this doesn't even cut equally. If you take a look and you ask, Hispanics report at a rate of 25% that they have a phone connected to the internet but no internet connection at home. If you look across the country and you look at people who are making 30,000 US dollars or less, 27%, all of their time spent on the internet is on their phone because they don't have a desktop connection, a broadband connection at home. We call these mobile-only users. So, we've got this saying in crypto, right? We have this aspirational goal that we're all here to build the products and services and networks that are going to onboard the next billion people. And I have got to tell you, if we want to have a hope of onboarding the next billion, we are going to have to meet them where they are. And where they are is overwhelmingly on mobile. Right now, the interoperability story between mobile phones and mobile wallets is kind of a story of heartbreak. Anyone who's tried to sign a transaction, do a mint on the go, knows that it's kind of this jumble of different protocols, different operability stories, different applications, and different strategies for being able to connect to wallets to regular websites. We're hoping, with the advent of the Solana mobile stack, to create a set of interoperable standards that will abstract away all of this complexity so that there's a high probability that when you go on your phone to do something in crypto, that it just works. Now, if you're buying what I'm selling so far, and you, like me, believe that there's going to be a massive shift to mobile next year, let's go through. Who's this talk for? Should you be worried about this shift to mobile? And then what is it that I want you to do by the time that this 20 minutes is over? So maybe you're a developer. You understand your problem space, and you're used to executing really, really well on desktop web. You might be wondering, are my skills obsolete now? Am I going to need to retrain and learn Kotlin or Java or Objective-C or Swift and become this mobile developer and leave everything behind? Or maybe you're a product manager and you have a team of those folks. And you're thinking, ugh, do I need to hire a new mobile team and retrain them on our company's products and policies? Or am I just going to need to get more funding, increase my burn rate so that I can deliver the same amount of value on now fundamentally two different platforms? Or if I can't get that cash, am I just going to have to settle for whatever I can do? Am I going to have to settle for less because I'm splitting my attention between two different platforms? Well, not usually an optimist. Today, I'm here to make the claim that the answer to all of those questions is no. And here's the proof of why that answer is no. All of these applications that you're seeing on the screen right now, connecting to brand new mobile wallets like the new mobile wallet adapter compatible Phantom and the new mobile wallet compatible Solflare that came out, they're roughly about 2 weeks old. All of these applications and operations are applications written in JavaScript. There is no native mobile code harmed in the filming of these videos, and these videos were filmed straight off of my Saga device. So, two strategies for you if you're a JavaScript developer and you want to dive into mobile with us. The first strategy is just to take your existing web app and make some small modifications. The modifications look something like this. First, make it render well on small screens, which is harder than it sounds. The second, you got to use the new SMS Solana Mobile Stack mobile wallet adapter. What does it mean to render well on small screens? Sounds obvious, not always. It means you have to employ responsive design principles. Mobile phones come in all shapes and sizes, resolutions, non-standard, portrait, or landscape orientations. You need to make sure that when your website is rendering on one of these devices of unknown size and resolution, that it is readable, that it's beautiful, and that it's functional. And you're web developers, so you already know how to do this because you know CSS. You know CSS layout, and you might be familiar or might not be familiar with CSS technologies like media queries, where you can deliver different layouts to different devices depending on their viewport width and height. And this one is so, so, so important and not to be missed. You have to start designing for touch. You have to eliminate mechanics in your applications that depend on hover states, because there's no cursor on mobile. If a cursor is like a small surgical knife that's really good at hitting tiny little targets and dragging tiny little sliders, these things on the end of your arms are like sledgehammers. You have to make sure that every button and every slider and every text area in your application can be hit by one of these 10 sledgehammers, that the hit targets are large enough so that folks can actually do the things that they need without making errors. All right, the second thing you have to do to upgrade your desktop website to run on the mobile web is you've got to get on Mobile Wallet Adapter. But what do I mean by that? Well, some of you in the audience are using a library already called Solana Wallet Adapter React. Throw up your hands while I'm talking if you're using Solana Wallet Adapter React already. And you guys know that you're using it to create a button like this where you connect to a wallet, and when people mash that button, it connects to a browser extension wallet on their desktop computer. But you also have experienced that when you mash that button on mobile, the behavior is largely undefined. It's not really clear what's going to happen there. Well, what I'm here to tell you today is that we have an upgrade to that particular library. Jordan Sexton and I have done awful, terrible things to Wallet Adapter React so that you don't have to, so that you can enjoy all of this new mobile functionality with very little effort. But it's not no effort. This is going to be one of the world's largest code mods. We need every application on Solana to take this upgrade and integrate it into existing websites so that when all of your customers think, ooh, I'm going to go visit my favorite website on this new phone that I bought, that things just work. But it's going to take a massive effort from all of us. We all need to go to every one of the Solana sites out there, every one of the Solana applications, and make sure that we have mobile wallet adapter capability built in and that we've tested it on a handful of Android devices, the reference implementation right now on Android. So I'm going to outline the steps of this massive, massive code mod that we all have to do together to enter the mobile era. And it looks something like this. Just upgrade to the latest version. All of the stuff is in the box. If you're on mainline Wallet Adapter React, you just have to bump to the latest NPM version, and you get all of the mobile wallet connection signing services and transaction sending services for free with the MWA wallets that are compatible today and forever in the future. All right, so get going with this upgrade. And remember that slide that I showed earlier of all of these websites? You know what they say in crypto? If you're not early, you're late, right? All of these folks have already done the upgrade. And if you visit them on a Saga, if you come to the Saga booth, or you visit them on an Android phone with the brand new version of Soulflare and Phantom, you should be able to connect and do transactions on these sites. And they're not alone. All of these other folks have also made the upgrade. And from all reports, they say that it took them somewhere in between the neighborhood of 30 minutes to maximum 4 hours if they had a lot of customization in their app around Wallet Adapter. All right, so That's what it means to use mobile wallet adapter in your traditional web app. Get that new Solana wallet adapter React, or do a custom integration. We're always here to help you on the Solana mobile Discord. If you have troubles, just reach out on GitHub or on Discord. So if that's strategy number one, take your existing web app and bring it into this mobile world, here's strategy number two. Maybe you want to go a little bit further and you really want to create something that is mobile native. You want to use device APIs on the phone to create incredible new experiences. There is a technology, if you're familiar with building websites using React, you can also build mobile applications with something called React Native. This is a way to build a cross-platform native feeling app using device APIs like and you can reuse your existing code, most importantly, and your existing skills and your existing team. Everything is the same. Hooks work, suspense works, all of the React tricks that you're used to using. And building a native feeling app with only React, JavaScript, and CSS still in this paradigm lets you access device APIs like vibration and location and the camera and NFC scanning and all of that stuff. And the mobile wallet adapter, just like on the web, written in JavaScript, works also in React Native to be able to connect to mobile wallets. Here's the interesting part. You should, by all rights, be able to reuse as much of your web code as possible. Any of your JavaScript and React business logic, we're talking about network fetching and transaction signing and data management, should be reusable as is in React Native. Your state management architecture, whether you're fetching data from GraphQL or a REST endpoint, or you're managing data in Redux or Relay or SWR, all of that, too, should work in React Native without modifications. And also, the Solana Web 3 JS client works in React Native. You can use all of the usual signing services and RPC communication services that you're used to using on the web, also in React Native. OK, so what is the bad news then? What is the stuff you can't reuse? And it comes down to this. If your application is really, really business logic heavy, you're in luck. If the meat of your application is creating transactions, making calculations, fetching and sending data to the network, all of that, mostly reusable as is. On the other hand, if your app is really heavily weighted towards the user interface, if you have a ton of beautiful charts and animations and user controls and transitions in your app, a lot of that stuff is going to need to be rewritten, none the least of which because you're on a fundamentally different display and display size and input devices, but also because the layout paradigms, with the exception of CSS, are fundamentally different on mobile. But I believe you can do it. And with that comes to the last part of this presentation. What am I here to ask you to do? I'm here to ask you to do these three things. The first thing is, if you own a web app on Solana, make the upgrade to Wallet Adapter. You can shoot this QR code, leads you to a URL with an upgrade guide that includes instructions on how to upgrade and a test plan to run to make sure that you've got it right. And you're not the only one. If you have an app that you love on Solana and you want to make sure that when you get a mobile phone like Saga that it just works, go and hound them. Go and ask your favorite apps if they've made the upgrade and send them the upgrade guide. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to at least study the React Native app that we've written to see how your JS React paradigm translates to writing a mobile app. And I think you'll find that it's not at all scary, and it's very interesting, and that you can build extremely powerful things with it. And then the last thing is just join the Solana mobile Discord. We're always here to help, to answer questions, whether you're building a wallet or you're building an application and trying to use the mobile wallet adapter SDKs. Just hit us up anytime. So, JavaScripters, welcome to mobile. Thank you so much, and come and visit us at the Saga booth with any questions you have right in the back corner there. Thanks for your time. It's been a pleasure.